Hi everybody, welcome to Leaning Left. I'm David Rodriguez. You know, when I was a kid, I'm talking elementary school age, I really wanted to watch horror movies. But understandably, my parents weren't really interested in renting those for me. But luckily, on our regular antenna TV, there was one station that would occasionally show a horror movie. And because of that, I got to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, this was again on just a normal channel that commercials, everything, and as you can imagine, that movie was heavily edited. So you kind of knew that something bad was going down, but they didn't actually show anything really graphic because they couldn't, not on normal TV. And it was on at like 5 o'clock. It wasn't even in the middle of the night. So they take this full video, they edit it down to show only what they wanted to show to make it palatable to their audience. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because Kevin McCarthy gave Tucker Carlson over 40,000 hours of security footage of the January 6th attack on our Capitol. And you might think, well, gosh, there's probably all kinds of things he could show in there. You know, he could take that and he could show the terrible things that happened and he could say, listen, I know we said that this was a normal tourist visit, but clearly with all this footage, we could see that we were wrong. This was a serious thing. Especially because they're being sued right now for telling lies knowingly on the air, which also makes it weird that they gave that video to Tucker Carlson, one of the people that we absolutely now know lies on the air, if there was any doubt before. We actually have proof now, so that's fun. Anyway, they gave it to him, and as you can imagine with that reputation, he didn't exactly do that. He showed some of the video from the January 6th attack, and miraculously, in 40,000 hours plus of video, he managed to find some where things look relatively peaceful. Some of the people like the QAnon shaman walking around not doing anything violent. He found those, and that's what he showed people. And he tried to make it seem like, no, it was Trump guys holding back some, I don't know, Antifa mob or God knows, ridiculous nonsense. And here's the thing. In a vacuum, if we had no other footage of what happened that day, this could be kind of compelling, especially if you didn't know that there's 40,000 hours that he got and didn't show, of course, nearly close to that amount. Of course, we do know all that. So this doesn't really work because on January 6th, when that all went down, we got to watch that. We got to see that stuff as it went down. We got to see the violence. We got to see the attacks. We got to see them attacking the Capitol Police with flags and whatnot. We already saw a lot of violence. I don't think we need to see the rest of the 40,000 hours, which probably also includes mostly violence, by the way, to know that really bad stuff happened that day, that was a genuine domestic terrorist attack on our Capitol. But again, I'd like to reiterate, while Fox News is being sued for knowingly lying, and especially Tucker Carlson knowingly lying, he is presenting edited footage of the January 6th attack to make it look like a normal tourist visit. Listen, I've visited places as a tourist. In fact, I may have even gone to the Capitol when I was like 5. I don't know, I was 5, so I barely knew where I was. But I could tell you what I didn't see on any of these visits to anywhere in Washington, D.C. I didn't see people attacking the Capitol Police. I didn't see them breaking windows. I didn't see them smearing shit on the wall. Maybe I just came on an off day. Maybe that's normal. Maybe everyone does that every time they go, but it wasn't happening when I was there. Maybe it was like a special kids hour where they don't smear the shit on the wall. I don't really know. I mean, I do really know, right? This is no normal tourist visit. And as much as they want to spin it, as much as they want to edit down their footage to make it look all clean and nice, we already saw the footage. Now the question is, did Fox viewers see that footage? If that's the place where they got their news, did they see that footage? I actually don't know. I wasn't watching Fox at the time because I don't watch Fox at any time. It's horrible. So I don't know what they saw. I don't know what they know. I don't know if this is the only footage that they're actually seeing of this event. But the sad thing is, with so many of their viewers and how they're willing to take things that are blatantly untrue and believe them, does it matter if they saw the footage before? Does it matter what they saw with their own eyes if Tucker Carlson or whoever else on Fox News or Donald Trump or anyone tells them that that's not what they saw? because they've told them things for years that go against all common sense, and the right believes it. I saw on Twitter today politicians and just regular folks' tweets saying that all this proved that there was no big attack on the Capitol and the January 6th Commission should be put in jail for spreading these lies. Now, I don't know that the politicians actually believe this. I don't think they do, unless they're super crazy like Carrie Lake. But the viewers, the regular viewers, they've been gaslit into this entire alternate reality. And that's a really scary thing. When you have a news organization or big politicians basically changing the entire framework of what a group of people's world is, when they're literally altering these people's perception of reality with their words, then you have a situation where more crazy can just get piled on top of that. And it doesn't matter what proof you show to the contrary, because that's fake news. That is staged. That's a false flag. That is, name it. And I know that if you have had the misfortune of having to pay attention to anyone on the right, you've seen that in action. They're not living in the real world. They're not living in our reality. They're living in something that has been dictated to them by their politicians and their news organizations. And that's really scary going forward, because I don't know where that's going to leave us. Because as bad as Fox and all them were 10 years ago, it's so much worse now. And it may get worse still. So here's what I propose. And listen, I'm not a law writer. I don't know exactly how we'd go about doing this, to be honest with you. We need to put some standards behind the word news. We need to have something where people cannot just call themselves the news. I don't call myself the news. I'm sitting here talking about current events, but I'm not the news. I'm just offering my commentary on it. And I won't tell you that I'm the news unless somehow I end up with actual breaking news all on my own, which is unlikely. But you go to Fox News, they do claim they're the news. And then they give their opinions. And they don't tell the other side of anything. And they leave out facts. They distort facts. They just tell outright lies. And they still get to call themselves news? There should be standards. I can't call myself a doctor. I can't call myself a police officer. I'm not allowed to. If I do that and try to do doctor or police officer things, I can be arrested. Rightfully so. I shouldn't be able to do that. That's dangerous to anyone that I tell that to. People calling themselves the news when they're not, and reporting on events like this that are extremely important to our country and our democracy, that's also really dangerous. It's dangerous on a much larger scale than if I go out and pretend to be a cop. You shouldn't be able to call yourself the news if you purposely omit facts to tell a certain narrative. And I know a lot of news organizations probably do that, but Fox, of all the big ones, is the worst by far. They are dinged by fact checkers more than any of the other stations. They shouldn't be allowed to call themselves Fox News. And there should be some sort of system to make sure that if they want to call themselves that they keep to actual reality. I don't know the best way to go about it, but I would love to hear your input. You may know more about these systems than I do, and I would love to hear how this is possible. Because something has to be done about this. Something has to be done so these organizations cannot keep pulling the wool over people's eyes and changing their view of what reality is from what reality actually is. We need to do something. There has to be standards. So if you agree with me, I'm sure I'll talk about the subject again. Please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you know about the next time I put out a video. And in the meantime, just always remember, if you keep leaning left, you'll always be right.